to hold back in any way, shape, or form. I cannot wait to watch these teams go head-to-head here as we get into this first game. Rizzo through the air and blocked. He tried to get clever right off the bat.
That's what we start off with for Rizzo? Okay.
Rizzo has come into his own here in Season 10. Typical will find a nice long touch. SSG in the orange, G2 in the blue. We start off on DFH, as is tradition. A touch onto the backboard. Arsenal will break up the tap. And now Typical looking to connect with Reddles, possibly. Over to the edge. Now Rizzo up against it. Reddles gets it back into the midfield, and JNaps to follow this. Actually misses the ball. And then Chicago gets bumped upwards into a block, but Typical still managed to get it off the top of one. Off the ceiling. JNaps gets it away. Arsenal now can connect with Reddles. Here's Reddles to the air. Shot to the far side. It's in. Oh my goodness. First goal for SSG.
Indeed, playing defense, and Typical just millimeters away from contact there. Chicago racing back, but ace placement from Reddles. If that's even slightly further left, that one gets poked out. G2 trying their best to contend with some tough challenges and some big touches from Typical, and unfortunately they crumble just under a minute in.
Here's Rizzo. It's the bump on one. Chicago passing the midfield to JNaps. Up from one. Typical off the backboard will get it away. Rizzo now to the backboard once more. Arsenal back to the corner. SSG's defense playing clean. Here's Rizzo up against Arsenal. Arsenal wins and now holds on to ball control. Chicago screams back to his own corner. Off the ceiling, pass to JNaps. Excellent play to break up the defense. Reddles on the goal line makes the stop. And now Arsenal being challenged. Here's Chicago, pass to JNaps once more. The infield pass. Typical gets the block again. A savior medal for Typical. A minute and a half in already.
And that's what really puts Typical's name on the map for me over the past couple seasons of RLCS. That staunch third man role, and he is absolutely a lockdown defender there, and cutting out that great passing play shows you why.
It's another one, and now Arsenal got one player to bite, got two to fake him out. Rizzo's got to stop it, and he does. JNaps now up in the midfield, actually leaves it. Chicago lofts it. Rizzo doesn't think he has enough boost to make this play happen. And now Reddles through one. There's the shot. JNaps gets the block. Typical drops it for Arsenal. Tries to get there, but Rizzo beats him to the ball. Now Rizzo back to JNaps. Into the corner here. Reddles turns on it. Typical got bumped in net. Good thing Reddles was there, and Typical coming out of net gets himself another one. Is that 6 saves? Typical is insane.
6 through the halfway point. Definitely could be on track for a record-setting saves in a single game.
He's kind of on pace to do it in regulation. All the records for that stuff are set with massive overtimes. There's Rizzo now to the side. Over one. Rizzo to follow this one. Reddles back down to the edge. JNaps. He's got Chicago in the goal, looking to bump players. Gives the bump on one, but Reddles still makes the save. Can Chicago find the immediate shot? No, here's a follow-up from Rizzo, and it's just enough time for Reddles to get down and block it. JNaps now passing again. Rizzo has almost no boost, won't reach it. Reddles to the corner. It's been Reddles' turn to step up on the defense. They've had to play so much defense, but they found an open backfield, and one counterattack's good enough to give them a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, the whole time we were thinking it felt like a little bit like G2 were absolutely trying to stretch every opportunity to the maximum potential, and eventually one touch gets away from them that they can't find somebody to get in front of the ball, and they leave a completely open backfield just trying to push a little too hard.
Oh my goodness. JNaps setting it high, 1:30 on the clock, despite having so much pressure here on offense. G2 again. Oh my goodness. They're sending everybody to try and get these goals they need, but the accuracy from Spacestation is just too high.
Oh, and that's a beautiful touch from Rizzo. I mean, that's that's so close to being crossbar and in, or just into the corner, and unfortunately it's just off the mark. G2 are doing exactly what I wanted. You know, they need to get the passing, they need to be able to put the pressure on Spacestation, otherwise they're going to be boxed into their own half for a long time. And they've done a great job of making sure that they don't get stuck there, but the shooting accuracy just not perfect like it's needed to be.
Reddles now looks for a 4th goal. Here's Typical. 3-1 as we approach the final minute. Chicago trying to bump Arsenal, and Arsenal still makes contact with the ball. Typical patiently waits out Rizzo. They're in their heads. Like, SSG just knows what G2 is going to do. Typical off to the edge. Chicago's going to try and get it here to Rizzo. Back down to JNaps. G2 again on offense, but it just straight up has not mattered yet.
Typical himself has...
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this one's gotten out of hand a little bit.
I mean, when's the last time? So they have 6 shots and 4 goals. To G2's, what is this? 16 shots. 16 shots from G2.
Yeah.
No goal.
To be fair, they've tried real hard.
13 saves. Absolutely insane.
You want to know something even crazier about that? Typical himself has more total score than the entire G2 team.
He does. At 827, Typical's running it up. 17 seconds left, and this, the Rizzo, does he finally get a goal? He's finally, they get one, but it's a little too late. 15 seconds left, they're not going to get 3.
Well, you better get something. I mean, you've put up, what is that now, 17 shots. One of them's bound to finally make its way in. And to be honest, going into next game, you're really looking for SSG to obviously limit a lot of those chances. G2 definitely not a team that you can allow that many opportunities to on the reg. You cannot expect Typical to have an 8-save game every day, all the time. And so hopefully in game 2, Spacestation able to lock down the midfield a little more, control the pace of play to more of their liking. And you're looking for G2 to just refine that shooting ever so slightly, drop a few more of those beautiful attempts into the corners.
20 shots.
That's a lot of shots.
20 shots from G2, 1 goal. And what turned out to be 15 saves from Spacestation. They were on record pace, for the record, no pun intended, for everyone at home. The record in the main 2 regions here of RLCS is 12 saves in a game. Done by Devo and Scrubkilla, but so 8 here from Typical, not quite up there, but still an amazing
valiant effort.
And this is one of the best. Like this is quality over quantity for Spacestation. They held off the quantity offense, the just barrage, the absolute assault from G2, and just made every one of their shots count here. This is one of the best defense winning a series examples I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. When you only put up 6 shots and 4 of them go into the back of the net and you're having to make, 8, 12, 6, a bunch of saves.
A bunch.
Yeah, it absolutely is. The defense won you the game there. And Spacestation Gaming, while they are obviously a phenomenal defensive team, no team can keep that up for an indefinite amount of time. So G2, you did great. Do it all over again and make Spacestation beat you. If that's what Spacestation has to do to beat you, make them do it over and over and over, because the chances that you get that type of performance 2 or 3 times in a row, slim to none.
You will start to exhaust them, but at the same time, you're exhausting yourself by just holding down the trigger on
That's
this
exactly what
machine gun.
happened. They did. They ran out of bullets, and then the back line was completely empty while they tried to reload, and then it's 4-0.
Yeah, it's a scoreline that looks like a dominating offensive performance, but really it's a dominating defensive performance with just a few little needles that make it through from the midfield. Incredible. Absolutely incredible for Spacestation. We'll see if they can do it again here in game 2. Or does G2 find the answer? What was crazy? We didn't even talk about this. How many infield passes G2 pulled off? Like, brilliant off-the-wall passes straight to the midfield. One of the hardest things to defend, and Typical's like, I don't care. I got this one. Save your medal. Thank you very much. Over and over. Here comes a counterattack. Oh, that one pitched high by Arsenal. Typical to chase this one and look for a block. Double tap broken up by Arsenal. Now Riddle's back down the field. This game a little bit slower.
Putting a lot of pressure on that back line of Spacestation Gaming, and that's something that G2 is just phenomenal at, to be quite honest. They are so good at putting someone in the face of a defender, exerting their pressure upon where they want the play to develop, and taking up the space that gets freed up from that aggression.
The bump on Arsenal and net, but Typical's already there. And no shooter was up above the crossbar. Reynolds with a miss that'll bring out JNaps, and now 2 players demolished for SSG. Reynolds is just going to buy time, and buy it he does. Chicago off the corner will pinch it, but both the SSG teammates who were demolished now back up in the midfield already. Typical off the backboard. JNaps has got to make contact and makes it off to the corner. He'll try to follow this. Reynolds pitches to the side. Have a awkward bounce. We'll give it to Reynolds here. Holds it on his hood, gets a flick on one. Chicago clears it to the other side, and JNaps now back down the field. Typical to break it up before Rizzo would have a free shot.
Oh, and a real nice job from Typical to stay with that ball. That one again off the mark, and you could see JNaps was going for the demos. He was expecting Chicago to drop that one into the corner of the goal. But since the shot placement was off, Chicago not able to get any demos and actually score a goal with it.
Typical looks for the air dribble. A bump on the goalie. Here at halftime, Reynolds sent it off the ceiling. Chicago off the edge. JNaps has earned himself saver medal while we're keeping count. Typical now. Trying to get it there, and Arsenal bounces it off the ground, and the G2 defense, we're starting to see Spacestation build up the artillery.
Yeah, it started to sort of fall in on itself right there. Typical able to get a big piece of that ball, and it was just an real awkward play for Rizzo to have to make, because he's not sure, since he's right next to that challenge, how it's going to turn out, and he just doesn't have the time to really readjust the positioning, and that allows Arsenal to make a much easier read coming out of the midfield and have a much bigger advantage going into that challenge, and he just went right through him.
209 to the edge. Typical in the midfield. He should get a few more touches on this one. Popped it and then dribbled it. Reynolds past 1, now past 2. Got the bump on Chicago, opening up space, but JNaps quickly to collapse on the ball. Give his teammates time to get in behind him. Rizzo now trying to dribble it away.
Wow.
Chicago blocked. Now Arsenal can't get it past JNaps, but Chicago is rotating out. That's going to kind of clog up space here for G2. Rizzo can't quite get in time, and Reynolds will get it over and into the blue now, looking for one more touch on the ball, and he'll go for goalies after this one. Actually goes for the pass himself, and there's the shot from Typical. Just enough confusion that G2 can't get a wheel on it.
Yeah, this one actually is pretty wild. I thought G2 would definitely have a fair amount of time to get back to it, and a rare miss from JNaps. He definitely understands that ball got tipped out, but it's still quite a rare thing to see JNaps on track for a challenge and then not even get a piece of the ball. And the follow-through just happened so quick that before anyone could react, it was already back there. So now it's a real tough spot here for G2. Down 2 with the minute 30 about.
Yeah. I think Rizzo also slightly misread coming out of goal. He was just under the ball with no new influence. Not sure why he would be there, but...
And you got to watch G2. I mean, every person that goes for a challenge immediately follows up to go for a demo, and you got to give all the credit in the world to Spacestation for avoiding all of those and still being able to get to the ball.
1 minute left. 2-goal lead for SSG. Spacestation hold on. Rizzo's going to try and score it there, but the long clear forces all of G2 to fall back. Rizzo's actually hanging up a little bit further forward. He does finally move back on the defense. And now, the catch under 1. Dribbles it under the wall. Looking for the challenge on Reynolds. Can't find it. Now here's Chicago. Sends it high, and Reynolds stops it. Puts it over 2. And now back down in the midfield. Rizzo's up for it. Plays it high to JNaps. JNaps, no contact. Rizzo now blocked by Arsenal. Chicago to pick up control in the top corner. He's going to look for the pass, but broken up again. Typical keeps on covering him up, and does he find the goal? He should be able to get this. No, JNaps just barely gets his bumper onto it first. With 12 seconds left, though, the 2-goal lead going to be punishing. Can't play in a 0-second time. This one needs to drop in, and it's not going to. Reynolds pushes it off to the edge, and that'll do it here for the game 2. Spacestation, they have to get the perfect sweep on G2 if they want to be the number 1 seed. Rizzo will dribble one in. They'll get Rizzo gets a second goal in garbage time here, but still, not going to matter.
A little pop, and JNaps goes right back to him, and how about that one? Don't panic. We got this. Just make sure it gets into that bottom right-hand corner. Good job from G2. Some real tight, close-range passing, but...
You know, good hustle. Play to the buzzer, even if you've already lost. Any coach would appreciate Rizzo putting that one in.
Exactly.
Spacestation, though, 2-0 now on the series. If they get that 3rd win here, they will be the number 1 seed in tomorrow's playoffs.
And they got a bunch of work again on their defensive side here in this game. Obviously, you got exactly what you wanted. It wasn't a 16-shot game. It's only a 7-shot game, so a significant improvement. But at the same time, there was some real pressure being applied from that G2 side. Like I said, with those challenges, really forcing those defenders to move and adjust and make the big challenges under pressure. So again, Spacestation Gaming able to work their magic on defense, and that's exactly what won them that game as well, in my mind.
Man, and again, I think it was 8 shots to 7 to 6 saves there. 8 shots
Something
from
like
SSG,
that, yeah.
6 saves from G2, which leaves only 2 shots unaccounted for, and they're the 2 that went in the back of the net. You could say 100% accuracy there from SSG. Like, their shots have been so good, but finally, oh my goodness, JNAPS gets it started here, and G2's on the board first.
Product of a kickoff, one person goes for the boost, and to make matters worse, Typical hits the brakes as he's rotating into goal because he thinks his teammate's about to win the challenge, so he's thinking about turning up field. His teammate gets destroyed, and then he doesn't have the momentum to cleanly go all the way across the goal and make a good save, so G2 finally able to knock one down.
Chicago in the corner with JNAPS. There's a touch to the goal, and Reynolds will get it away. Rizzo up for it, no real meaningful touch. JNAPS now back down. Rizzo quickly turns on this. He's got Arsenal turning as well. Gets the flick on one. Typical's there, though. Gets a clear. JNAPS will cover up.
It's behind
the
him.
immediate counterattack, but they get it between them all, and that's Space Station tying the game back up.
Now, this is just G2 going for a G2 play. This is absolutely a beautiful idea. Chicago understands. He's like, this ball's a back pass. This one's coming to me. And unfortunately, JNAPS just got a smidge too far in front of it and put it behind his teammate. I mean, that's
a little
just
bit too far back.
Yeah, it's G2 doing G2 things, and, you know, sometimes it goes horribly wrong, and that's one of those instances.
Passing in Rocket League may be the most difficult of the fundamental mechanics.
It
Putting
absolutely is.
As a moving target, moving a moving target onto a different moving target. And instead here, we'll see Space Station tie it up here. Again, they're on match point. Win this game. Through to tomorrow. Arsenal in front of the goal. Typical with the challenge. Now Reynolds is there. All 3 players in enemy territory for Space Station. Typical to drop it back down. Arsenal up. Past one. Follows it up himself. Over to the edge. Makes Chicago dance and takes the lead.
I can tell just watching Chicago in the goal there. He was trying to decide. He's like, does he actually have the boost to get that? Oh, he does. What do I do? And it's perfect over my head. Oh, no. Arsenal, a beautiful floater behind the defense.
Just like that. The lead that G2 had finally earned after 2 games is taken back away. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Here's a pass. The outfield pass. 2 defenders up. They get the block on one. Here's Rizzo. Blocked by Typical at the point of contact. Chicago with the third. Reynolds gets the save. Nobody from G2 there to take the final shot. And Typical up for it to try and get it around JNAPS. He adjusts his flight and gets to him. Reynolds now. Can't get it through one. Arsenal. It's a block. Typical out of his goal. No contact. He's going to be out of play. Here's Rizzo up against Arsenal. Chicago. Chicago tried. Now it's Typical and Reynolds on top of each other in the midfield. They clear the ball all the way back down. G2 a little bit on top of each other. It's Typical. What a dunk out of that corner. Rizzo will try to reach for this one. Gets it to the far side to safety, but Reynolds already there. He's got Typical in front of the goal. Plays it off the backboard. 2 touches. Rizzo gets it away. What a read to keep them away and just at a 1-goal margin.
Ooh, it's not over yet, though. Rizzo trying to go for big plays, and Typical understands where the next shot's coming from. Arsenal wisely lets that ball go and tries to give G2 a dose of their own medicine, put the pressure on the defense and make them get out of the way, and everyone is just constantly having to make adjustments around players as Rizzo able to sneak one through Typical.
Will finally survive this play. G2's defense held on strong, but their positioning coming out of that defense immediately meant there was going to be a few more shots happening. But Space Station took those shots. Defense still managed to get back and stop them. 2:18 on the clock. JNAPS out to Chicago. Chicago loose in the air, won't make contact. Now Typical in a try, and JNAPS covers him up. Arsenal through the air. Rizzo getting harassed in net, still makes the stop. 2:07 on the clock. It's still Space Station with everything they need. They'll get one more. Reynolds just with the lob to the upper corner.
It's because Chicago here is under pressure. He sees Arsenal right in front of him, and he has to do a little bob and weave and make sure he doesn't get bumped out of the way, and that's been both teams. Everyone's just trying to put the pressure on the defense, and can you make the adjustment? And there, Chicago came up short. Now they got 2 minutes. to find 2 goals, and those have been tough to come by if you're a G2 player this series.
Space Station absolutely solidifying the lead. Rizzo with the drop to Chicago. G2's bread and butter. The incredible immaculate passing. Does Arsenal get it? He does. He catches Rizzo. He just has to flip and just hope that Arsenal shoots it straight at him.
He catches Chicago as well. I mean, Chicago and JNAPS both jumped for that ball, and Rizzo knew. Like, he saw both of his teammates up and saw Arsenal going for that ball. He's like, oh no, this is a disaster. And he tried to go back, and unfortunately, with the pace that he needed to even be in position, made it way too easy of a shot for him to put right behind him. And that just makes the lead even harder to overcome. And honestly, I think Space Station might be able to have this locked up.
I think with a 3-goal lead, 1.5 minutes left, it's pretty likely. And strangely, they get another one here. Oh, Chicago does get back in time. Strangely, Chicago's positioning has been decidedly aggressive, to put it positively. And to put it negatively, it's just been bad. It's just left so much space. There's like 3 goals so far that have happened here for Space Station that have involved Chicago just being a little bit too far upfield. One of them was on that back pass, that first goal.
Yeah, that one's not so much his fault.
That's JNAP shooting over his shoulder. Give your teammate who is back passing a little bit of room for error. Exactly. Chicago's like, we've got to play perfectly here against SSG, which, I mean, you do. But still, yeah, I don't know. This is G2 definitely with a little bit some room to fix things as, again, they get it through the defense, and Arsenal will get enough. 5th, that'll definitely be the series. The last 40 seconds will just be protocol.
And Envy sitting there weeping because they were really hoping for one G2 game, and unfortunately, Space Station Gaming going to come away with a clean 3-0 sweep, secure that nice #1 seed going into the playoffs, and that one has got to feel good. And they absolutely had to work for it. I mean, just watching game 1, if you showed just game 1 and said, who do you think wins the series? I think a significant margin of people would have picked G2 even if they lost game 1 because they played that well.
Yeah. Surely they can't get that many saves again, right?
And they didn't, to be fair.
Yeah, but they didn't need to.
They didn't need to.
20 seconds left. I mean, at this point, Space Station looks like they're looking for the Brazil. Send him away in style. And God, just Reddles again. The 2 bounces on that 5th goal. Starting to style on him. We've seen Reddles put up some flashy plays. Do they get a garbage time goal every game? At least G2 makes the scoreline look a little bit better.
Just one more. A little drip out of the top corner from Chicago, and Rizzo says, yeah, no problem. I'll take that one too. It's
every single one of them has been Rizzo as well. Like, you look at the scoreline, 4-1, 2-1, 5-2, and it's like, okay, G2 put up a fight, and it's like, not really, honestly. Like, they just kind of covered up the scoreline a little bit there and made it look a little bit better. It's a goal. They're going to try and get one more for him? No. Ball now on the ground. We'll put it down. Space Station make quick work of G2. G2 is going to be left scratching their heads thinking about that one all week.
Well, they put up a fight. G2 absolutely did. It might not have seemed like it, but the pressure was there. They forced Space Station to make big plays. Sipical had a pop-off game. Arsenal had a pop-off game. Reddles had a pop-off game. Everyone from Space Station was locked in A+ in this series. And G2, unfortunately, didn't have that perfect execution that was required to beat them.
I'm just going to say, Chiefs, I'm a smart guy. I had a hot take at the beginning of the day.
A real nuclear take.
Real good at this video game, dude. Holy crap. I mean, they outscored them, even with the garbage time goals, they outscored them 11-4.
Yeah,
one of the best teams. And I think they outsaved them, too, which is just not very normal. When you have a team that's scoring that many more, that you also have more saves on the series. So this is a series, round 3, going to be in the books. And yeah, man, achieved. So I'm looking forward to round 4.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hang on. Can we figure out who G2 might play in round 4 yet? No, we can't.
Think they know either way. No.
It'll be great. Yet. It'll be great.
It'll be a lot of fun. We'll get to see them go again here, chat. We're going to take a quick break, get round 4 matches set up. We'll be right back on the RLCSX.